The ship hung silently in the vast blackness of space, a small dot against the endless sea of stars. On board, Commander Lena Torres paced the metallic corridor of the Aurora. Humans had traveled far, colonizing worlds and exploring regions of space that even AI probes had never reached. Yet nothing about space exploration could have prepared her for what she was about to encounter. It began in the research bay. Lena's team had been assigned to study a newly discovered alien species on planet Vera 9, a world covered in pale lavender forests and rivers that shimmered like liquid silver. The species was called the Elysians, bipedal creatures with translucent skin that shimmered faintly in the light. They were peaceful and highly intelligent, and their culture seemed to revolve around connection, an intricate system of emotional signals humans barely understood. Among the Elysians was one in particular who fascinated Lena more than the others. Her name, roughly translated, was Alira. Unlike the rest of her kind, Alira had a curious streak, always observing the humans with intense interest. Lena noticed it the moment she walked into the chamber where Alira was studying some human devices. The alien's skin pulsed faintly whenever humans were near, a soft rhythm that mirrored their own heartbeats. "Commander Torres," said Dr. Malik, the team's xenobiologist, "there's something unusual about Alira. She responds differently than the others." Lena knelt slightly to meet Alira's gaze. The Elysians had no real words in the human sense, but Alira's gestures were expressive, almost playful. She tilted her head, mimicking the way humans sometimes leaned in when curious. Lena smiled and reached out her hand in greeting. Alira mirrored the motion, though she stopped just short of touching it. That was when it happened. Alira's pulse shifted dramatically, brighter and faster than before. It was subtle at first, but Dr. Malik's instruments picked it up instantly. "She's activating her bonding reflex," Malik whispered. "It's a natural response in Elysians when they feel strong emotional connection, or something like it. It's very rare for humans to trigger it." Lena froze. Humans had never encountered this. No one had known that simple gestures, playful closeness, or friendly touches could trigger this reflex. The Elysians had always been careful, but Alira, she was different. Before Lena could react further, Alira stepped forward, eyes wide and shining. It wasn't aggression nor fear, and it was curiosity and trust. The subtle glow of her skin shifted again, this time more intense, as if signaling excitement or readiness. Lena instinctively backed up slightly, raising her hands in calm. "Easy, easy," Lena said softly. "We're not here to hurt you." Alira's glow dimmed slightly at the reassurance, and she hovered a few steps away. Yet the pull between them, something Lena could not fully describe, was undeniable. The reflex, whatever it was, created a silent bond, a recognition that they were in some strange way connected. Lena felt it in her chest, a warmth, an awareness of Alira's emotions, almost like a song she could hear without sound. Over the next few days, the humans observed Alira carefully. She followed them around the research station, mimicking their movements, studying their routines, and sometimes leaning in too close without realizing it. Lena noticed that even small human actions, laughter, a casual pat on the shoulder, sharing food, triggered the pulsing reflex in Alira. It was subtle, but impossible to ignore. The team debated whether to intervene. "We can't risk her overstimulation," Dr. Malik said, adjusting his tablet. "Her species has a bonding reflex that, if uncontrolled, can overwhelm both parties emotionally." Lena shook her head. "But she's not being harmed. If anything, she's learning. And maybe she's learning from us as well." Indeed, Alira's responses became more sophisticated. She began trying to mimic human humor, laughing, or the closest Elysians had to laughter, at their jokes. She experimented with games, chasing small drones the humans had built and showing off agility Lena had not expected from a bipedal being of her size. Every interaction seemed to strengthen the subtle bond forming between them. Then came the incident that changed everything. One morning, Lena and Alira were in the observation deck watching the sunrise over the lavender forests of Vera 9. Alira stepped closer than usual, her glow brightening in a gentle rhythm. Lena laughed softly, a playful gesture of greeting, and Alira mirrored her, stepping even closer. Without meaning to, Lena reached out and lightly tapped Alira on the arm, a human gesture meant to be friendly. The effect was immediate. Alira's glow flared, washing the room in a soft, luminescent light. Her reflex had activated fully. Lena felt a shiver run down her spine, a strange mixture of warmth and exhilaration, as if she could sense Alira's emotions in waves. Dr. Malik, monitoring from across the room, gasped. "Commander?" Her bonding reflex. "It's fully activated." Lena froze. She had expected curiosity, but this was beyond anything the instruments had predicted. Alira's pulse patterns formed intricate rhythms, flowing in a way that mimicked human heartbeats but also something entirely alien. Lena realized with awe that the reflex was not just a social signal. It was a way of understanding, connecting, even communicating at a level humans had never experienced. Alira looked at Lena with what could only be described as delight. The bond had formed silently and invisibly, bridging species in a way that seemed impossible just days ago. Lena felt an unspoken understanding pass between them. Alira trusted her. Alira wanted to learn. The following week, the humans carefully explored the limits of the bonding reflex. They introduced Alira to other team members, engineers, biologists, pilots, observing how she responded. Each human interaction triggered subtle shifts in her glow and pulse patterns. Some humans caused temporary confusion. Others brought calm and focus. Lena noticed that Alira seemed happiest when around people who were genuinely kind, playful, or curious. But not everything was simple. The reflex sometimes overwhelmed her, especially when humans acted unpredictably. Alira would step back, flickers of light pulsing erratically until someone calmed her. Lena made sure to teach the team about gentle gestures, patient communication, and respect for the aliens' limits. Through it all, Lena and Alira developed a unique rhythm. Alira learned to anticipate human behavior, while humans learned to read the subtle signals of her reflex. It was not just understanding. It was teamwork, trust, and friendship forming in real time. Humans had always excelled at connection, empathy, and creativity, and it was those qualities that unlocked something extraordinary in Alira. One evening, Lena sat in the observation deck alone with Alira, watching the twin moons rise over the lavender forest. The alien skin shimmered in muted tones, reflecting the colors of the moons. Lena reached out and gently brushed her hand against Alira's in a gesture of friendship. Alira responded immediately, pulsing softly, an echo of Lena's own heartbeat. In that moment, Lena realized something profound. Humans didn't need to dominate, coerce, or control. Their greatest strength was something far subtler, their capacity for empathy, curiosity, and trust. And it had just proven itself across the vast gulf of species in space. As the moons climbed higher, Lena whispered softly, "We'll figure this out together." Alira. The alien's glow brightened in response, and Lena felt a thrill of excitement. This was only the beginning. Humans had awakened something extraordinary in an alien species, a connection that could change not only Alira's life, but the future of human-Elysian relations. Outside, the stars twinkled with distant possibilities, and aboard the Aurora, a human and an alien side by side were learning what it truly meant to understand one another. The lavender forests of Vera 9 stretched endlessly under the twin moons, their silver rivers glinting like scattered stars. For Commander Lena Torres and her team, life aboard the Aurora had become a delicate rhythm of research, exploration, and connection with Alira. Each day brought new discoveries, both about the alien species and about themselves. Alira's bonding reflex had now become a central part of daily life. She no longer simply reacted to human gestures, she seemed to anticipate them, almost like she could sense their intentions before they acted. Her skin would shimmer in patterns that mirrored human emotions, joy, curiosity, even mild frustration. Lena had begun to understand these patterns, using them to communicate without words, a silent language that only they shared. One morning, Lena and Dr. Malik led a small team on a survey mission deeper into the forest. They were mapping new plant life, cataloging unusual minerals, and observing native fauna. Alira followed, her curiosity evident in the gentle pulses of light that ran along her limbs. "Commander, I've been analyzing her reflex patterns," Dr. Malik said as they walked. "It's more complex than we thought. She doesn't just mirror emotions, she amplifies positive ones. And if she senses danger, her reflex acts almost like a warning signal." Lena nodded. "That could be incredibly useful." If she can sense threats before we do, it might save lives. Elira tilted her head as if understanding every word. She moved closer to Lena, and the soft pulse of her glow quickened, a sign that Lena interpreted as excitement. The team smiled at the sight. Elira had become more than an experiment. She was a companion, a friend, and in some ways a teacher. As they moved further into the forest, the environment changed. The trees grew taller, their silver leaves shimmering faintly in the morning light. Strange creatures like floating jellyfish with transparent wings drifted lazily through the air. Elira's glow shifted in rhythm with the creatures' movements, a silent observation of patterns humans might not notice. Suddenly, a low rumble echoed through the forest. The ground trembled slightly and Elira froze. Her skin brightened in sharp pulses signaling alarm. Lena quickly assessed the situation, a minor seismic shift. Nothing that posed immediate danger, but enough to catch their attention. "Everyone stay close," Lena instructed calmly. "Elira, can you sense where it's coming from?" Elira's glow pulsed rhythmically, pointing toward a nearby ravine. The team approached cautiously, and Dr. Malik confirmed Lena's assessment. A small landslide had just occurred, altering the terrain. Thanks to Elira's reflex, they had been warned early enough to avoid potential harm. "That's incredible," Malik whispered. "Her reflex isn't just emotional, it's predictive. She's reading the environment and us at the same time." Lena smiled, her admiration for Elira growing with every passing day. "Humans and Elysians together," she said. "We complement each other perfectly." The next challenge came in the form of communication. While Elira's bonding reflex allowed them to sense each other's emotions, conveying complex information was still difficult. Lena wanted Elira to understand human concepts like mapping coordinates, cataloging specimens, and tracking time. They began teaching her through games. Lena would show a plant, and Elira would mimic the gestures humans use to describe it. If she understood correctly, her glow would pulse in a specific pattern. Slowly, she learned not only to identify plants but to indicate their properties: edible, medicinal, or dangerous. One afternoon, Elira surprised them all. Lena held up a rare flower with translucent petals and asked Elira to indicate if it was safe. Elira stepped forward, her glow rippling gently. Then she extended a tendril-like finger, brushing it over the plant. The reaction was immediate. The petals shimmered brighter, releasing a faint, pleasant fragrance. Lena realized with awe that Elira's reflex had triggered a subtle chemical reaction in the plant, something humans had not been able to achieve. "This is amazing," Dr. Malik exclaimed. "Her reflex, it's interacting with the environment, not just humans. We've never seen anything like this." Elira seemed pleased with their excitement. Her glow radiated softly, almost like a smile. Humans had awakened her instincts, and in return, she was teaching them something entirely new about the world around them. But life on Vera 9 was not without danger. That evening, as the twin moons rose, a storm swept across the forest. The wind howled through the silver trees, and rain fell in thick, shimmering sheets. Visibility dropped, and the team had to find shelter quickly. Elira's glow brightened sharply, her reflex reacting to both the storm and the humans' concern. "Follow me," Lena shouted, holding out her hand. Elira took the lead, guiding them through the treacherous terrain. Her reflex seemed almost instinctual now, alerting them to slippery rocks, falling branches, and hidden pitfalls. The team moved with careful precision, trusting the aliens' guidance. Finally, they reached a natural cave, its walls lined with phosphorescent crystals. Inside, they were safe from the storm. Elira's glow dimmed as she settled beside Lena, her body radiating calm reassurance. The humans realized that the reflex was not just a tool for learning. It was a bridge between species, a way to trust and rely on each other even in danger. As the storm raged outside, Lena reflected on what they had learned. Humans had a unique ability to awaken potential in other species. Through curiosity, empathy, and gentle interaction, they could build bonds that transcended language, biology, and even instinct. Elira was living proof of that. Over the next several days, the team explored further, documenting new species and phenomena with Elira's help. Her bonding reflex continued to evolve, allowing them to sense danger, communicate subtly, and even manipulate environmental reactions in small ways. She had become an integral part of the team, not just a subject of study. One evening, Lena observed Elira interacting with the other humans in a completely new way. The Elysians in general were peaceful, But Alira's reflex now allowed her to anticipate human emotions and respond proactively. When one of the engineers tripped on a root, Alira extended a hand and caught him effortlessly. Her glow pulsed with reassurance, and the engineer smiled, amazed by the gentle strength of the alien. "This is extraordinary," Lena said quietly to Dr. Malik. "Humans didn't just awaken her reflex, we helped her grow into something she didn't know she could be." Malik nodded. "And she's teaching us too. She's showing us how to sense, respond, and cooperate in ways we never imagined." But with growth came questions. Alira's reflex seemed to develop preferences. She reacted more strongly to some humans than others. Lena wondered if this would cause imbalance within the team. She decided to observe carefully, ensuring that the reflex strengthened trust rather than favoritism. One night, under the glow of the twin moons, Lena sat with Alira outside the cave. The alien's pulses were soft, reflecting the calm of the night. Lena reached out her hand once more. Alira's glow brightened in response, the rhythm almost like laughter. "You're learning so fast," Lena whispered, "and we're learning from you too." Alira's skin shimmered softly, almost as if nodding. In the silence of the alien world, a bond had formed that neither species could have anticipated. A connection that transcended words, instincts, and even space itself. Humans had awakened her reflex, but in return she had awakened a new understanding of the universe within them. As the first light of dawn touched the forest, Lena felt a thrill of possibility. Alira's bonding reflex was only the beginning. Together, humans and Elysians could explore, learn, and grow in ways that neither species could achieve alone. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and wonders, and now they had a bridge, a bond, that would allow them to face it together. And so the Aurora's crew pressed on, deeper into the forests, higher into the mountains, and farther into the unknown. Alira's pulses guided them, human curiosity fueled them, and the bond between species strengthened with every step. For the first time, humans understood that their true power was not in weapons or machines, but in the ability to connect, inspire, and awaken greatness in others. The lavender forests of Vera 9 were quiet that morning, the rivers glinting like silver ribbons under the twin moon's fading light. For weeks, the Aurora's crew had explored, learned, and grown alongside Alira, the Elysian whose bonding reflex humans had unknowingly awakened. The connection they had forged was extraordinary, a bridge between species built on trust, curiosity, and understanding. But the universe rarely allowed comfort to last. The calm of Vera 9 was broken by a distant, low rumble. Lena's eyes widened. This was not a minor tremor like before. Something large and powerful was moving through the forests. Something alive. The crew quickly gathered in the observation deck. Alira's glow flared violently, her pulses sharp and urgent. The reflex had detected the approaching threat before anyone else could. "What is it?" one of the engineers asked, fear creeping into his voice. Lena shook her head. "We don't know yet. But Alira senses it. Follow her lead." Alira moved swiftly through the forest, guiding the humans along paths she clearly knew were safe. Her skin shimmered like a living map, highlighting safe routes and alerting the team to obstacles. The humans followed closely, trusting her instincts. They had learned over the past weeks that Alira's reflex wasn't just emotional, it was analytical, predictive, and incredibly precise. As they approached a clearing, the source of the disturbance became clear. A massive creature unlike anything recorded before emerged from the mist, towering over the trees with multiple limbs and eyes that glowed faintly. It moved with deliberate power. The creature was not overtly aggressive, but its presence alone was enough to send fear rippling through the human team. "Stay calm," Lena instructed firmly. "Alira, what is it doing?" The alien's glow pulsed in complex patterns. Lena and the others realized that Alira's reflex was communicating not only her emotions, but also her observations of the creature. Through subtle flashes, she indicated that it was curious, cautious, and aware of their presence. Alira's reflex seemed to amplify the human's understanding, translating instinct into comprehension. Lena stepped forward slowly, raising her hands in a peaceful gesture. The creature froze, tilting its massive head. Alira's pulses brightened, rhythmic and calming. Lena understood. Her bond with Alira allowed her to extend trust and reassurance not just to her, but indirectly to the creature. "We need to show it we mean no harm," Lena whispered to her team. "Follow my lead." The humans moved carefully, mimicking Lena's calm and deliberate gestures. Alira mirrored their movements, her glow radiating waves of reassurance. The creature blinked its enormous eyes and took a tentative step closer, its limbs moving in careful, measured motions. For the first time, the humans witnessed the full power of the bonding reflex. Alira's glow intertwined with their presence, creating a shared rhythm that the massive creature seemed to recognize. It was a silent negotiation, a communication beyond language or sound. Slowly, the creature lowered its limbs, its curiosity replacing caution. Dr. Malik whispered in awe, "It's amazing. Alira is teaching them to trust us, and we're teaching her how to help them. This bond is unprecedented," Lena nodded, feeling a deep pride. Humans had unlocked something extraordinary, and the results were undeniable. Through empathy, patience, and understanding, they were bridging the gap between species that had never interacted before. The next challenge came when the creature made a sudden move, knocking over a small tree that blocked their retreat. Alira's reflex reacted instantly, her glow intensifying and forming sharp pulses that signaled immediate danger. The humans followed her guidance, avoiding the falling branches with precision. Lena realized that the reflex was not just a tool for connection. It was a form of early warning system, a safeguard that amplified human capability. After the threat had passed, the creature retreated into the mist, leaving the humans and Alira in the clearing. Lena exhaled, relief washing over her. "We did it," she said softly. "Together." Over the following days, the team studied the event carefully. Alira's reflex had proven that humans could activate and enhance abilities in other species without force or coercion. It was a pure, collaborative form of growth, something that no technology, weapon, or machine could replicate. The team began to experiment with the reflex in controlled ways. Alira learned to anticipate human needs, offer guidance in complex tasks, and even help manipulate the environment subtly to benefit exploration. Together, they discovered new plants, measured unknown atmospheric phenomena, and even prevented a small forest fire by sensing heat buildup early. One evening, Lena sat with Alira near a river that glowed faintly under the moons. The Elysian skin shimmered in soft, flowing patterns reflecting the calm of the water. Lena reached out and touched her hand gently. Alira responded immediately, pulses of light echoing Lena's heartbeat. "You've taught us so much," Lena whispered. "And we've taught you too. Together we can do things no one else could imagine." Alira's glow brightened in acknowledgement, a silent affirmation of their shared journey. Lena marveled at the simplicity and purity of the bond. No words could fully capture it. No machines could replicate it. Humans had inspired trust, curiosity, and growth, and in return, Alira had inspired wonder, insight, and a deeper understanding of the universe. But the greatest test came unexpectedly. During a routine exploration of a mountain range, the team encountered a natural hazard, a deep chasm that blocked their path. The only way forward was to navigate a narrow ledge that overlooked a dizzying drop. Lena's heart raced. The humans were skilled, but one wrong step could be fatal. Alira's reflex flared brightly, sending precise rhythmic pulses that guided their movements. Step by step, humans followed her lead, adjusting their footing and timing with an accuracy that seemed almost superhuman. Midway across the ledge, a sudden rock slide threatened to separate the team. Alira's glow exploded in patterns so complex that Lena realized she was simultaneously communicating danger, guiding movement, and calming human fear. Every human on the ledge felt the reflex, an invisible force linking them to Alira and to each other. With careful coordination, aided by Alira's instincts, the humans reached safety. They stood together on solid ground, their hearts pounding but spirits high. Lena looked at Alira, awe and gratitude shining in her eyes. "We couldn't have done it without you," she said. Alira's pulses intensified like a joyful laugh, and Lena realized something profound. Humans had awakened her abilities and she had become a force multiplier, amplifying their strengths in ways they had never imagined. The days that followed were filled with calm exploration, reflection, and planning. The bond between humans and Alira had matured. They could sense each other's thoughts and intentions subtly, anticipate needs, and work together as a seamless team. Humans had proven that empathy, curiosity, and gentle guidance could awaken potential in even the most alien forms of life. Alira had proven that trust, responsiveness, and instinct could extend that potential to unimaginable heights. As the crew prepared to leave Vera 9, Lena looked back at the forest one last time. Elira stood at the edge of the clearing, glowing softly under the twin moons. Lena smiled, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment and hope. "Goodbye, Elira," Lena whispered. "We'll return. There's so much more to learn, together." Elira's pulses echoed her own, a final affirmation of their shared journey. Humans had awakened something extraordinary in her, and in return she had awakened something extraordinary in them. It was a bond that transcended species, language, and instinct, a testament to the power of curiosity, trust, and connection. As the aurora lifted off, breaking the planet's atmosphere, Lena felt the thrill of possibility. The universe was vast, full of unknown wonders, but humans had a strength beyond technology, beyond exploration, the ability to inspire, connect, and awaken greatness in others. Elira's bonding reflex was more than an alien instinct. It was proof that humans themselves were extraordinary, and somewhere in the lavender forests of Vera 9, an alien's glow shimmered softly, a quiet, radiant reminder that bonds could change the course of discovery, understanding, and the future of life among the stars.